Hello, and welcome to this lesson of Theory of Osmosis and its effects on cells. By the time you finish this video, you should be able to define osmosis using water potential and explain the role of a partially permeable membrane. Describe how osmosis affects animal and plant cells in different solutions. Apply knowledge of water potential to predict cell behavior. Osmosis is the movement of water molecules from an area of higher water potential, which is a dilute solution, to an area of lower water potential, which is a concentrated solution, through a partially permeable membrane. Like diffusion, it is a type of passive transport and does not require energy. Osmosis only applies to water molecules. Water moves from a dilute solution, where there is more water and higher water potential, to a concentrated solution, where there is less water and lower water potential. The membrane is selectively permeable. It allows small water molecules through but blocks larger solute particles. A dilute solution has high water potential because it contains more water and fewer solutes. A concentrated solution has low water potential because it contains more solute and less free water. Water moves until equilibrium is reached. At equilibrium, water potential is balanced on both sides. Animal cells do not have a rigid cell wall. In a strong sugar solution, which has lower water potential than the cell, water leaves by osmosis. The cell shrinks and becomes crenated. In distilled water, which has higher water potential, water enters. If too much water enters, the cell may burst. This process is called lysis. Plant cells behave differently because they have a strong cell wall. In distilled water, water enters by osmosis. The vacuole expands and presses against the cell wall. The cell becomes turgid. In a strong sugar solution, water leaves. The vacuole shrinks and the cell membrane pulls away from the cell wall. This is called plasmolysis. Osmosis is vital for maintaining cell structure and plant stability. Turgor pressure keeps plants upright and exposed to sunlight. Without sufficient water, cells become flaccid and plants wilt. Osmosis ensures proper water balance inside cells. Let's dive into some exam-style practice questions. You can pause the video and try it yourself. An animal cell is placed in a strong sugar solution with lower water potential than the cell. What happens to the cell and why? The sugar solution outside the cell has lower water potential. Water moves out of the cell by osmosis. As water leaves, the cell shrinks and becomes crenated. Since there is no cell wall, the cell cannot resist the loss of water. A plant cell is placed in distilled water. What happens to the cell and why? Distilled water has higher water potential than the cell. Water enters by osmosis. The vacuole expands and pushes the cytoplasm against the rigid cell wall. This creates turgor pressure, and the cell becomes firm and turgid. A plant cell is placed in a strong sugar solution. What happens to the cell and why? The sugar solution outside has lower water potential. Water leaves the plant cell by osmosis. The vacuole shrinks and the cell membrane pulls away from the cell wall. This process is called plasmolysis.